What an incredible weekend it was last weekend with yours and Gai's first Golden Rose winner in the Congo. Most trainers will never reach these lofty heights, and you've accomplished it within 5 years of securing your trainer's license, which is quite incredible. Adding to this special day were Queen of Dubai's first listed win, Entente winning a Group 3, and VANGELIC winning her first Group 2.
It really was a sensational weekend. So proud of everyone involved. Proud of the horses for achieving the big results, and proud of all the staff that put in the hard work over the winter and the tiring months and works to get these horses to the big races. A lot of preparation. So things went our way on the day, and a lot of hard work paid off, and delighted to get a big result for all the owners involved.
Let's start this week in Victoria at Flemington, with Black Tahitian targeting the listed Maribyrnong trial, and Knight's Order heading to the Group 3 Bart Cummings, a win and you're in for the Melbourne Cup.
Always very interesting to see the 2-year-olds step out for the first time, and even more interesting to see them down the straight for the first time. He's had a nice jump out here in Sydney before travelling down to Melbourne, and then he had a very impressive jump out at Flemington. So he's been very well educated and had a good preparation for the race. He seems a nice forward type by deep field that should show plenty of early speed, and that's what it takes to be winning these types of races. So looking forward to seeing him make his debut. Knight's Order was excellent when resuming down in Melbourne. Had a difficult draw to overcome. He had to do a bit of work up the hill and stuck on very gamely. I thought he was interfered there late, so the margin was certainly better than what it reads in the form guide. Up in trip, and most importantly a Cups ticket here on the line on Saturday. So an important race for him, and I think he can run very well.
Back in New South Wales, BOJACK and SEMPREINTE step out at Newcastle on Saturday. Both seem to be building towards a win, so are they two horses the viewers should be following?
BOJACK's had a bit of an interrupted preparation. He's been back to the trials, and we took the blinkers off, and I thought he trialled very well. So we may look to keep them off for the races, and certainly just get him to relax and go about his races in the right manner, because he's better than what we've seen. SEMPREINTE I thought was very good when resuming. He's still a little bit new, and he showed that in his race. He just bumped into a horse that had returned in great shape and was very dominant on the day. So I think he just bumped into a really good form race, but I thought he stuck on very gamely, so open to good improvement.
Emerald Bay also heads to Newcastle and gets over further than 1,500 metres for the very first time in her career in the benchmark 64 over 1,850 metres. If she's anything like her full sister, Shout the Bar, she will relish the extra distance.
And she looks like she's thriving at present. Really interested to see her over a trip. She's been showing in her races that she will excel once she can get over a little bit further. Obviously, yeah, as you pointed out, her sister excelled once she got to that mile to 2,000 metres. So expecting the same thing from her based on what we've seen in her races and in her track work. If that's the case and she can see out the distance, I think she looks very well placed.
It's a huge day for you at Randwick, with no fewer than 12 runners on what I believe to be one of the best days of racing on the calendar. I'll begin with the Group 1 Epsom Handicap, one of Randwick's most historical races, which was first run in 1865. Tell us a little about Riadini and Discharged.
It's a fantastic race. I'd certainly love to win a race with such tradition here at Randwick. Riadini's been in excellent form. He's coming through some really strong weight for age races, and he drops back to the handicap conditions here, which should see him very well placed. He's got a fantastic record here over the mile at Randwick, where he seems to perform at his best. So hopefully the track can stay dry for him, and we'll see a top performance. Discharge I thought was excellent last start in the Shannon Stakes. He ran second, just went down narrowly. He backs up, which is what we used with Riadini last year, finishing second in the same race before going on to finish third in the Epsom. So certainly a good formula. He's a nice tough horse, and has come out of that race in the right way. So expecting a big run from both horses.
A similarly historic race is the Group 1 Metropolitan Handicap, and once again you have a two-pronged attack, this time in the shape of Entente and Hushwriter.
Entente's in excellent order. He's backing up for a third week in a row, but he's certainly a tough horse that can handle that. He's coming off an excellent win in the Colin Stephen. He races for Peter and June Dunn, who Interestingly, bred the horse that we nearly pulled this off with a couple of years ago in Stampede. He went on to run in the exact same lead-ups, backed up 3 weeks in a row, and has just run down in the shadows of the post in the Metropolitan. So that's given them full confidence to push on with Entente, and hopefully he can go a couple better this time round, because he's certainly come out of the race in great shape. Hush Rider went to Newcastle. I thought it was an excellent run first up over that distance. He had to race outside the speed and just raced a little bit fresh, being first up. But I expect him this time round to be able to get some cover, switch off, and that'll certainly see him be a lot more effective, along with the fitness improvement from the first up run.
The third and final Group 1 on the card is the Flight Stakes, a race that Gai has won an incredible 9 times, and you won with Gai in your very first year of training with Global Glamour. Do you see Swift Witness or Never Been Kissed adding to this tally?
I think both fillies really deserve their place here on Saturday. Swift Witness, such a tough filly. She's been excellent through the entire series. I think she can run another big race here. She's got the good tactical speed to be able to take up the running here. She's tough. I think she'll see out a strong mile. Never Been Kissed. Had to race against the bias last start. She was caught wide without cover. I thought she stuck on very well in tough conditions. She just lacked that turn of foot there, but she stuck on very, very well, and she's one that should really appreciate the step up to the mile. So I think we can see a big improvement from her as well.
Embracer was a late addition to the Group 2 Premier Stakes, but as we're constantly saying, you've got to be a little flexible to get the best results when it comes to a horse's programme. Tell us a little about his change of plans here.
It's quite interesting. This is traditionally the lead-up race for the Everest, with a number of the Everest horses locked in very early this year. A number of them have seemed to have dodged this traditional lead-up. Therefore, you're missing potentially 10 of the best sprinters in Australia in what was, as I said, traditionally a lead-up race. So that left a few opportunities for a horse like Embracer to look at a race like this. Obviously, under the weight for age conditions, he's not as well suited as he has been in his last 2 runs under the handicap conditions, but he's a horse that's performing well. He's in good form, and he's stepping back to his preferred trip of the 1200 metres. So I think on what we've seen so far, he's an excellent chance and deserves his place.
Just Thinkin returns to benchmark grade in the 88 over 60 and 100 metres, so he is forced to carry weight, but NUSH should counteract that dead weight. What can we expect to see from him?
Not really concerned about the class horses carrying weight in their races, particularly a horse such as Just Thinkin, big strong horse. I think it won't do him any harm, and as you said, without the dead weight, it will certainly be very effective. NUSH seems to get on very well and has a liking to the horse through his work. Just looking to get a bit of confidence back for him, so hence the drop back in grade. Obviously feel he's a talented horse on his day. He just seems a little bit out of form from what we've seen at the end of last campaign, but from what we've seen this time in, I do feel he's shown the improvement. I feel he's wants to be winning again, and hopefully Saturday can be that nice race that gives him the confidence and the kick along to recapture that form that he previously had.
I'll round out this week with the babies. They're having their first day at big school, so while you're never sure how they'll handle such an overwhelming event, all 4 looked very professional at their first trials.
Yeah, very, very nervous and excited to see them all step out. Starting with the colts, KIBOU was excellent. Plenty of raw talent and speed there. He's got a tricky draw to overcome, so he'll have to be at his best and remain focused to overcome that. If he shows a good tactical speed, he's in with a great chance. Resonator, on the other hand, is drawn ideally, drawn quite a soft draw. He's very straightforward, very professional. You seem to be able to put him anywhere in the race, and he'll be adaptable. I like his work since. Both colts have gone forward in the right manner. Of the fillies, choose your words. She was very good. She went into the trials with probably the most improvement to come out of the trials. We've seen that from her. She gets the addition of the blinkers, which I think will just help sharpen her up that little bit more, and I think she can prove to be very competitive. Pantonario was excellent. She came up against a filly that had the previous experience and made her work in the trial, so they did plenty of work early. It's probably one of the heats where they ran the fastest times early, and I think it was just a case of her just getting a little bit tired late in her trial. But from that, we've seen her really improve in her fitness and go on the right way. From that, she's worked up nicely, and I think she'll be a lovely chance. She's a very professional filly.